Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. My good friend Michael Rager is in the house, and I always love talking to him. We have a good time whenever he comes on the program, and always brings great information and content and great guests. Normally I have a lot, but you know what? For some reason, on the week before New Year's, that week snuggled between Christmas and New Year's, I bet it was kind of hard to get a guest.
You know, they're traveling to somewhere warm and tropical, everybody I talked to. Unfortunately, I wasn't going with them.
Yes, life is hard, you know, when we're trying to make a living. So, you know, I think that it's great because it's so rare for us to get the opportunity to talk about what you do, for the listener to learn more about what you do. So kind of give us your elevator speech to get us warmed up.
Yeah, sure. Well, Corporate Memory Solutions, kind of one of the new companies. We got some new stuff to talk about today. But what we do is we help companies understand who does what, how, and why within an organization. And we help them their staff understand what tools are available for them to be successful. And that's what we want to do, is we want our staff to be successful. If our staff's successful, our clients are successful, everybody's successful within business.
Yeah, absolutely. And how big of an organization does a company need to have in order to use a service like yours?
You know, it's funny. Is our smallest client, Kevin, has 6 people.
Six people.
You know, they've got some expansion plans. They're looking to grow. You know, they want to be a little bit proactive. And, you know, kind of go from there. We actually have one company right now that we've been talking to. There's only 3 of them. They're a startup. They're like, let's get this done right. Let's go ahead. We don't want to worry about it. So let's document our processes, document what our team should be and how they're going to work. And let's just start a culture that way. And that's what they're looking to do. So, you know, but it's funny, is the biggest company that actually uses the software that we use is the BBC in London. So,
wow.
You know, it goes from the small little startups to major corporations.
That's amazing. You gotta love that. Talk a little bit about what the delivery system looks like.
Yeah, sure. It's really simple. I think most business owners are used to this big, clunky employee manual that sits on a shelf and collects dust. What we do is we put together a software that's actually HTML-based, so it looks like a website, and we provide a very simple map that highlights who, what, and how. And it's very simple. It's easy to read, unlike one of our biggest competitors, which is a Microsoft product. It draws a whole bunch of boxes and arrows all over the place, and ours doesn't. It's very simple. It goes from top to bottom. It's easy to follow, and that's what we like about it. Is I'm not a techie guy, and I figured out the software in about a day and a half on my own, and I've been able to use it and implement it in my company. So that's been very, very nice for me.
Okay. So say like I just got hired as an administrative assistant for a company.
Mm-hmm.
What would that protocol look like? How would your system train me?
Sure. Exactly what you do, the first thing we do is we send you in as administrative assistant. You'd go in under the roles, you type in your title, so administrative assistant. It would pull up all the processes where you're involved with. And we use something called RACI, R-A-C-I, Responsible Assist, Consult, and Inform. So what we train our clients to do is have their new hires go in and understand what all the responsibilities are, you know, very quickly. Because a lot of times what happens when a new hire comes on, they struggle. They sit there and they try to figure out what they're supposed to do. And, you know, it's kind of funny, Kevin, you talk about, I met a young kid the other night. I was out having a pre-holiday cocktail. And 29 years old, he just got a new gig at GE. And within his first 5 months...
working on trains.
Yeah. He's actually, what was he building? He was building wastewater treatment plants. Was his thing.
The commercial.
Yes. And he had 5 mentors that were on their 50s, 50 and 60s, and all 5 of them retired within 4 months of him coming on. And so now he took over for all 5 of them. And he sat there, Mike, and he goes, I don't even know what my responsibilities are. I'm making it up. He goes, I feel like I'm a private detective, is what he said, trying to figure out what my roles are. And he goes, it would have been so great to have these guys leave me with something so I understand how they worked and how they were successful.
So I'm an administrative assistant. You have the system set up. It includes protocols, facts, you know, frequently asked questions. What does it all entail?
Yeah, well, generally what we want to do is we know that most companies have not documented how they do work. Their people just come in and they do things. They do it instinctually. So we want to get with our best members, our best team members to come in and say, how do we do it? So here, you know, even with your radio show, Kevin, we come in, okay, how do we start up in the morning? What's the first thing that we do? How do we have our guests come in? How do we sign our contracts? everything that we have to do with putting together a radio show, it's just not what you get for that hour that you're on the air. You know, there's 1,000 things that happen behind the scenes.
People only knew.
And
people only knew. It's so funny. People see me outside of the studio. It's like, so all you do is a radio show?
No, exactly.
Man, I have the hardest time not laughing. Of course, they don't know about USDailyReview.com. That's like it's about 1 million hits a month. You know, which I'm actually have ownership stake in all of these media, and so it's funny though how. And now we have a TV show that launched. Launches January 3rd, and so. But anyway, it's funny because there's so much stuff going on behind it that these protocols make sense.
Yeah, and what happens if your executive assistant leaves next week?
Well, I'll fire her. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's what happens a lot of time are people in trouble. If that key person that does a lot of stuff walks out the door, something happens, somebody else hires her, there's an accident in the family. We had one friend of ours, she got pregnant, and her husband said, hey, you don't have to go back to work. She never did.
Yeah.
And, what happens if that's a key person? How do you integrate somebody new quickly, to minimize that upside or maximize that upside? And that's what we do with our protocols and our product, and that's what we want to do. And that
seems like it's so logical, so intuitive. I say shame on any company that doesn't have this kind of thing.
Well, it is. We know that almost 95% of the companies we talk to don't.
That's
and
crazy.
So
this includes really large companies.
This includes really large companies, and there's one that I used to work for, and I won't mention their name here. But when I was a department manager, and they hired me, and I was there like 2 weeks, and all of a sudden it came in, hey, that we needed a proposal to go out. We used to build pipelines, and so we need a proposal to come out. And I'm like, well, where's the proposal template? Nobody knew. And
they said, what is a proposal template?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, am I making this up from the beginning? You guys are, you're a multi-million dollar company here. Do you have something? And it could have been simple enough that we could have wrote how to write a proposal template or how to write a new proposal, link to their P drive, because amazing, they stored proposals under the P drive. But it actually took me and my assistant 2 days to find the template.
Just to find a template.
Just to find the
That's
template.
16 hours times 2 salaries.
And 2 salaries.
That's insane.
And she was about 80, and I was in the 130s. So
wow.
that was a lot of money and a lot of time wasted.
Wow. Shame on your company. So, yeah. That probably was part of the inspiration for this, right?
No. It kind of came later. As I just pick on them now when I go talk to other companies. It's one of those stories. I think, as when we go around and do what we do, it's we tell our story.
Right.
And I guess it's fortunate now for what I'm doing. I've got a lot of bad stories to talk about this coming through, and I really wish it would have been there. Years ago. I've been fortunate as this. The new companies grow, and I think you don't even know yet is we're actually buying the software company. We're hoping to have them purchased by mid-January.
You're buying the company that you've been distributing for.
Yes, yeah.
Which I guess that means it's working.
It's working. It is working. We're looking for that to go bigger. We just know we have a better model to market than they do. It was a couple of engineers that designed it and built it, and they really didn't come in from marketing side. And I've been fortunate enough to have some really good people surround me, and they're helping me out. And that's what it's all about. And hopefully they're going to make a lot of money. I'm going to make a lot of money. That's what things are about in business.
I like a lot of money.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and so I love it. You mentioned some other business activities you got going on for 2016. I want to say 2017, and I'm still stuck in 2014. It's bizarre, but anyway, what do you got coming down?
That's the big thing right now. It's bringing on the company. So we're going to be starting a new company called Veranova Technologies. Kind of means new truth in Latin. So we're going to use that. The software company is going to be a partner to the consulting company, which is Corporate Memory Solutions. We've been reaching out to some other companies. We look like we're setting up a deal with a group in D.C. to help represent us. We've been talking to a group in Chicago. So we're going from 3 or 4 people here in Houston to purchasing a company. We'll have affiliates in the UK. So and hopefully throughout the U.S. by next year. So we're looking for some massive growth.
I think that's fantastic, and I'm glad we'll be able to talk about it on this program.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's honestly, some of the guests we brought on, Satul Patel, he and I are sitting down next month and we're talking. He's expanding like crazy. He's got such a great a great product and great team. And he and I are going to be sitting down next month. We're going to talk a little bit how hopefully we can help them, facilitate that growth and, be a part of it. So, we just want to keep that going and, see what we can do to, hey, listeners out there, you want to grow, we can help you.
No question about it.
That.
It doesn't do any good to grow if you don't have the structure to keep the growth. And if you don't have a system like this, you're really putting yourself on a hamster wheel, and doing a whole bunch of, not reinventing, just embedding what you already had rather than, having it systematized. And so I love what you do. And again, I say shame on those who don't look at what you do. Give your website before we wrap it up.
It's www.corporatememorysolutions.com. So
CorporateMemorySolutions.com. Love your guests. Love having you on. And again, I love the partnership. Look forward to it.
Yeah, me too. And hopefully we get to expand into the TV side as we get going.
That'd be cool.
We're going to be excited about that.
38 million homes around the country.
That could be good. Maybe one or two of them could use us.
All right. Michael Rager, he's a great contributor on The Price of Business and a friend of the program, and we always love having him on. When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. Do you want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and the best content here, including this interview, will be found over there at usdailyreview.com. You're listening to The Price of Business.